Welcome back to Reaching Freedom. This is Mitch, and I'd like to show you a little bit about the Famcamp, the Fort Meade Famcamp that we were on for our first trip of the season, and really just show you some of the new things that are going on at the camp, which are exciting and is great for retirees, active duty, DoD, and military soldiers, and some of the things we've learned along the way that you have to have money for when you purchase a travel trailer. This is Mitch again. Like and subscribe. Stick with me until the end. There's a few things that I think you want to hear about. This is the Fort Meade Famcamp. Has over 70 sites. Each site is about 60 feet in length, and it has a patio that is 8 by 20. Has handicap accessible sites, has overflow parking, full hookups, 20, 30, 50 amps. Connectivity is cable, TV for all the vehicles, all the sites. Outdoor gear, you get a picnic table, you get a fire grill and ring and lantern post, and you can put up a tent on the concrete pad. Now, one of the things that they have that's brand new is this cabin. They have 4 of these brand new large cabins that can fit a whole family that they are bringing to the park for brand new in 2026. When the fall season, when the season opens, this will be there for you to rent. Now, this camp is a nice camp. There are several spots. They're mostly level and on a concrete pad, and lots of space to maneuver. I like to use the drive-through spots that are there. It's much easier for me to get in and get out. And along with the cabins, the brand new cabins that you see, there's also the older cabins which do not have as many amenities. So this is Fort Meade Famcamp. You have to be military, active duty, retired, affiliated with the DoD in some way, so you can have a car to get access to get onto the base, to get to the site. The only thing is, this is considered one of the more expensive one in the military family. This thing is right now, it's about $68 a day for a site. And the new cabins, when they come online, they're going to be $120 a night, online with what the hotels are. But again, this is quite a way to end a first trip of the season. 2 days. The weather was at 73, and the weather was also at a blistering 80 on yesterday. But today, look outside behind me. What do we have? Nothing but snow coming down, and the temperature is dropping down to 36. But once the snow starts, I still got to get out there and break everything down and head back to the house. One of the things that's different about this trip is we were able to get a number of things taken care of, as far as becoming more familiar with the trailer, understanding many of the amenities and the things that we have to do in order to live or be inside this trailer for an extended period of time. It was a good trip, breaking some things in. Familiar, not an expert. I still consider myself a newbie, and we consider ourselves a newbie, but we did learn a lot. While the snow is going on outside and before we trek out of here, there's a certain number of things that I often hear people say. You got to have a certain amount of money whenever you buy a travel trailer, because there's buying a travel trailer and having a tow vehicle is not the final cost that you're going to have. And that is certainly true. There's so many other little things that we had to buy along the way just to make this trip work properly. We had to buy a level trailer, and we got a trailer leveling system. That costs money. We have a hitch, an air-safe hitch is what we purchased. The hitch rides on the ball, and it is able to help with some of the jarring that happens as you go over potholes in the road. You're not double feeling that through the truck. So we actually purchased that. We had a tire pressure monitoring system. We had to buy that. You have to know what the pressure is in the front tires and the pressure is in the back tires. We also had to buy a propane tank gas monitoring system just to understand what those are. We need some leveling blocks for the trailer. Sometimes when you go into a location, a site, the ground may not be level, and you want to make sure that you're level all the way through. You're level on one side. You have to buy certain hoses to ensure that when you extract or let the fluid out of the black tank, the gray tank, or also the water, that you have the right hoses. You have to have hose connections that do not put pressure on how the hose hangs on the outside of the trailer. We had to buy those things. And so much. So I would say once you buy a trailer, whatever trailer is the trailer of choice, always take into consideration an additional cost of things that you're going to need in order to make your life great or grand as you travel through. Now, this little snippet is about the inside of the trailer. Living inside of this trailer, one thing that we're not doing is we're not taking and making this traveling full time in the trailer. We're taking parts and pieces and we're traveling on weekends and extended vacations. So we're traveling about four months out of the year. That's our goal. And so far have been hitting that. So inside the trailer, inside this Airstream Globetrotter 27-foot front bed twin, it's nice. In the beds, it's pretty nice, but the edge of the bed, there's like a 2-inch or 3-4-inch part where the mattress, if you move around at nighttime, I move around at nighttime, where the mattress slides. So there is a fix for that we can purchase that extends the edge of the bed so the mattress doesn't bend or the mattress doesn't slide over. We're going to have to purchase that. The bathroom or the shower is great for a person that's 5'11" and under, 5'12" and under, well under 6 foot. But anybody that's over 6 foot, that the shower inside of this vehicle is it's kind of tight. If you have long legs over 6 foot, you cannot sit down in that shower. So it's kind of tight. So if you're able and you're thinking about buying an Airstream, as a suggestion, I would say look at purchasing the Classic or purchasing one of the models that have a larger bathroom, a larger shower, because that would make it much easier for you as you continue to live inside of the trailer. Also, with the bathroom, with toilet area is kind of tight. If you're a big person, it's going to be difficult to sit on that toilet without opening the door taller. It is tight in there, but I like the way that the system sits. And going back to the bedroom area, I like the way that the lighting is done in that area. No matter where you are, you're within reach to touch lights to make it specifically for you. And I know my wife and she sleeps on the other side. I can keep my light on and minimally bother her with my light on the other side. And I like the speaker systems that are over the bed. I can have the system wired to my phone or a Bluetooth and be able to play whatever I want to play, whatever music I want to play throughout the trailer. We have coming up towards the front of the trailer, which is the 3-burner cooktop and the microwave convection oven that we have in here. We've had several chances to use that. It's pretty neat. We're able to cook what we want to cook inside the trailer, but one of the things that we want to try to avoid has a great odor or a great smell. Don't want to have all those smells trapped inside of the trailer. So we're choosing to cook most of our meals that have a lot of seasoning or a lot of smells. I know I like my food seasoning. I cook that outside and bring it in if we want to eat at the table. So this area is more or less like traveling in a luxury hotel and pretty far thus far. Pretty satisfied. This is again closing out the first trip of this new season, and it's been successful, but got to close out, got to head back home and put up the trailer in the trailer lot, and we'll take off again here pretty soon. This has been Mitch with the Reaching Freedom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Out.